Ready to resume the meeting, and at this point, I will happily turn it over to our treasurer, Mr. John Horn. Take as much time as you want.
Oh, it's 4 minutes here.
Should we go through our exercise on how these work? The financial reports are attachment Q. The first, as you guys might recall, we went through a new process in identifying some new reports to review that are generated out of our new accounting system. Those general reports are summarized in the financial report section A through pages 1 through 17. Do I have any questions from the board on these items? 1 through 17. So you have your general receipts, followed by pages 3 through 5, which is a system report that generates to show what are the actual revenues earned by the company, which shows the current month, and then also year-to-date based on a fiscal year.
I have a question.
Yes?
This revenue summary, is there such a report as revenue detail report?
So what I would believe, and I will refer to Ms. Castle, but this is the summary. So you have your general accounts, and then you have your sub-accounts, which is all the detail below them. This is a summarized report of that. I'm sure Ms. Castle could provide that upon request if needed.
No, I'm just, like, if we saw something and we wanted detail of what makes up these totals, there's a report that can be provided, correct?
That is true. It is also summarized on page 2 as the actual receipts. I will note that not everything on the receipts is actually reported as revenue. There are some receipts that we receive from as a district and record it as a contra expense, essentially a reimbursement for an expense, but they're coming through the actual receipts. So you can look down on page 2 to see where are these receipts coming from during the month.
Yeah, I just wanted
Okay.
to make sure that there was a detailed report if I wanted to look into something.
Certainly. And then pages 6 through 10 represent the expenditures that the district operated for the month, in addition fiscal year to date. So year to date, we have spent $46.3 million with an additional month and significant expenditures towards the end. And you cannot, just for reference for the general population and the board, you will not be able to tie the the 4.7 million on page 10 to the actual expenditures, because we approve expenditures based up to the board meeting. So if you look at the detailed expenditures, it's May 15th or May 16th to June 15th, where this is May 1st to May 31st. Okay? Yes, Mr. Carter.
So on page 2, so I guess I kind of answered my own question here, at least with regard to this, with the UP Sports Booster Club donation. So this is how the board approves certain donations, is through the receipt portion?
Actually, we do not approve the financial reports for the receipts. We only approve the expenditures. Your question is valid in the point that are we approving this $5,914 donation that we're receiving?
Is there an answer?
I will point to Ms. Castle. I apologize for not directing.
Sometimes the boosters will, we need certain equipment or something like that, and they're willing to pay for it, but they also benefit by it.
But is this us approving that,
Well,
accepting it?
we haven't actually accepted donation. I mean, we have arranged with them to accept the donation, but the board only sees it here. So I don't know What Ken
Well,
said.
I've had a chance during the break to look at your policy. Your policy actually only requires your approval of donations of equipment or services that may involve major costs for the installation or maintenance or initial or continuing financial commitments from school funds. That's the only one that your policy actually requires that you vote to accept.
Is there an AR?
There is not.
So maybe the recommendation to the board is to go back to the policy committee and refine that, to either put some metrics around that threshold or come up with an alternative language to be accepted by the board. But we can, I point you to the policy committee for that. He looks to throw it.
And one more question was the just demand response refund from Internet?
That's for energy, so when, sometimes we'll get notification that we have high need, so if we turn down certain energy usage, then we receive funds back.
Thank you.
Moving on, pages 11 through 13 represent reconciliations of various accounts owned by the district. Page 14 represents the cash balance report of all the various clubs and donations. And then page 16 and 17 represent the financial report of the cafeteria. Do I have any questions before moving on to the expenditures in the board? Hearing none, I will move along. The general expenditures out of our general fund come from page 18 through 24. I make a motion that we approve the amount of expenditures of $1,802,900.13. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion involving expenditures listed here?
I just got a couple questions, well, I'll make a general statement. These listed here are that are employees, this is mileage reimbursement? More tuition.
You don't have to make motion in this one, not till next one.
Hearing no other questions from the board, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. May I put your attention to page 25? These are the capital expenditures. I make a motion to approve the amount of $319,746.61. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion for the board?
Did you post the invoices?
I think I sent ahead of time. These are, the new ones will get some, but these
I
are,
got the other ones, so.
yeah, I think you have these, they come out earlier than we can.
Okay, so they might be posted.
They probably should be, if not, I'll check. I have to look back, I should keep track of which ones. But I think I did them early. So, but y'all send you June's, so we didn't pay anything.
And all these expenditures relate to the middle school project,
Okay.
and we are still on budget with the middle school. Hearing no further questions, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
We have one no, motion passes. That concludes the financial reports, and I turn it back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Horn. Public comments?
We need to stand. Good evening. Eric Schultz from Green Lane, Pennsylvania. Here to represent the Upper Perk Home Run Club. Last year, you guys had approved for us permission to use the parking lots on Sunday. We worked with Mr. Mercon this year, and I believe he is in possession of that paperwork. Is that right? The only problem with that is, I guess a month or two ago, you guys had approved Sunday use to start at 12 noon. And because of the cars that are coming in, they really need to start a little bit earlier. So we're looking for kind of a special link our way to start at 10 a.m. as opposed to 12 noon, October 1st.
Could you clarify what parking lot?
High school.
High school.
Yes.
Are you looking to the parking lot to use it at 10 a.m. or the?
Yeah, so the event would start at 10 a.m.
So the event would start at 10 a.m.
Yes.
How often does that happen, Mr. Chair?
Once a year.
Once a year?
We did last year.
Okay.
So we have insurance, we got insurance for the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's a couple food trucks and then
Yeah.
antique cars, people are coming in. It's a car show.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah.
if you give me that, yeah, just send it to my office, and I think that, yeah, the board will talk about it, but
Okay. Thank you.
Excuse me, if they need to advertise, I believe, that was one of your,
Yeah,
then you
that's
want to
it.
get the,
We need it quick.
and so he was asking to possibly put it on the next
Make
week's
a motion now.
Or, yeah,
Can we make a motion now?
Yeah.
To
That's what
allow
I'm
them to
asking
use
for.
the parking lot for Sunday, as long as they clean up after themselves?
We did it last year, we did a great job.
what's the
And,
date?
excuse me?
What is the date?
October 1st. And the reason we're asking for 10 o'clock is they're old cars, they don't like to drive at night. Yeah. You know, so we want to keep trying to be done by 4, and most of the guys will leave by 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we allow them to use it for, was it Sunday, October 1st at 10 a.m., starting 10 a.m.? As long as they clean up after themselves.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Got that, Diane?
No other public comments?
Couple of follow-up, Melanie Cunningham, Upper Hanover. I believe the sidewalk was about $880,000. Could actually be more than that. The board of supervisor that does work for Barry Isaac, he actually was warned through the Upper Hanover solicitor. There was an evening there when you had a younger attorney, and I don't think he really knew a lot about the middle school going on. And the board of supervisor was helping him, so he was, just wanted to let you know that. The last thing was I've actually heavily donated to the sports stuff over the years.
Thank you.
Keith McCarron, Pittsburgh. I would urge the board to request at each meeting a summary of the expenses that are going towards the middle school construction project. We're burying costs or changing costs, hiding costs in a sense by having them put under different projects or different titles, such as the sidewalk is going to be a separate project. That, as far as I'm concerned, as far as all of you should be concerned with, that is part of the construction costs. I would like a true accounting of what the construction costs are going to be. Whether it's the attorney fees to date for going to Upper Hanover Township for the hearings, or going to Pennsburg, or having the survey, the appraisals going out. All of these costs, I believe, should start being reported to the board on a monthly basis, so that both the board and the public can see how much this project is actually costing us, not just the bottom line of $58 million for the school projected cost, because then we can actually see the true cost. If it's $800,000 for the sidewalk, which I believe was reported in the paper just a few weeks ago, you know, that's just put us up over $59 million, $60 million. All these costs do add up, and we should have an accounting for it. I'm also very disappointed in the discussion earlier tonight when a board member brought up that we should slow this down a little bit for accepting the bids once they go in because of the elections that happened in May. And the response was, no, full steam ahead, damn everybody. Discipline.
Thank you very much. Any other comments? Board comments?
I'd just like to make a comment. You know, every year I've been a part of it. This first year that I took the stage at graduation, and you know, I really do think that's what makes this job worthwhile and volunteering is seeing these children take their next journey in life, and no matter what direction it is, whether it's military, workforce, or further education, it was really a memorable night, and was glad to be a part of it.
Any other comments?
I would second that. I did it the first year I was on the board, and I did it the fourth year. I couldn't because of business and family issues the last two. And it was wonderful. It's one of the most moving things you'll see. I hope someday I do the same with my children when they graduate, as long as they graduate, and as long as I'm still on the board. But the other thing I did want to comment on was, I was glad to finally hear something about our performance from Dr. McGloin. I really look forward to seeing where we're at next October, I guess, when we get the results. Also knowing who's now in that role, I'm looking forward to a lot of meaty data that we can actually see and hopefully understand what it means, and I hope it's a move in the positive direction. So, but I'm glad that, I mean, that's the output at the end of the day, is how are our kids doing and where do they go. We can talk about all these other things, but that's the output of our school, so I'll be very interested to see what we see in a few months.
Any other comments? Yes, I actually have a question for either Dr. McGloin, Dr. Farina, or even Ken Ruse. There's still 2 exceptions to the vaccines, correct? There's a religious exemption.
There's a certain exemption that you can take for the vaccine.
Well, I'm gonna put it in this listener update this week, so it'll be,
Okay, but there are still 2 exceptions.
I
Okay,
believe that's correct.
thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Executive session.